We began our work here in 1970 with the aim of finding out something about orcas up here. We had found out from people in Alert Bay, which was called home of the killer whale, that orcas are regularly seen in this area in the summertime. So we set up a camp to see if we could see orcas, and we could.
And the project developed from there. And eventually in the 1980s, we decided to not go out on the water and stay at home, basically, and see what we could learn from just sitting in one place. But we employed a few tools to do that. So we started deploying remote hydrophones throughout the area. Eventually we got about 6 to 7 remote sites that had acoustic windows into various different areas. So now we could listen to whales that we couldn't see, and we could follow them throughout the area covered by our hydrophones.
Okay, so SRB and MRB2 into the air? No, SRB is where they're rubbing. Okay,
Often when you think of a marine biologist or someone that studies whales, you'll imagine them out on a boat collecting data. But to completely remove yourself from the scene offers a really interesting perspective. One of the most obvious ones is boat noise. When you are out on a boat, you're contributing to the kind of ambient boat noise that's in the ocean, and we know that that can be a potential stress factor for whales and dolphins.
Land-based research is really important because once we put ourselves in the habitat of these animals, or of these whales in this case, then we're changing their behavior. Undoubtedly they're going to act differently if something that hasn't been in their environment for thousands and thousands of years suddenly is in their space. Boats and boat noise are an incredible example of that. There's no way that that can't be affecting the psyche of these whales and their movements and their communication and their ability to catch salmon.
very small whale.
Oh, we all see. It's all good. It's all good. We see.
Wow. And that one? Yes. Can you put it in there?
I think one of the most powerful things that we've got here at OrcaLab is this consistently recorded data set that now spans 5 decades. So I forget the exact number, but there's tens of thousands of hours of acoustic recordings that we have, and then matching visual data through photography, through film that we have on these whales. So we're not necessarily honing in on the specifics all the time, but we're building up this picture and how the whales are changing, how their environment is changing, and we can look back at how that's been effective over the last 5 decades, which is pretty unique actually.
I think one of the most impressive things about resident orcas, which are communities that have many family groups involved in them, is that they have evolved peaceful societies. They're groups of friends, basically. These are individual families that have their own history and their own unique characteristics, things like dialects, for example, that are unique to families. But the families never come into conflict with one another. Whenever they meet each other, there's a joyous moment. And that is so impressive to me. And to think that this is the most powerful predator in the ocean, orcas, the most powerful predator in the ocean, has learned how to live peacefully with its own kind. And to me, that's an incredible lesson for humanity.